Hey guys, I got to tell you the funniest story. The other day I had a meeting in another ministry that I serve at, one of those that you have to do all those long Saturdays. You may know what I'm talking about, but they're worth it. So I walked in, I was running a little late, and I had messaged some of the core members that I was running late, not to worry about me, but I'd be there. So when I got in, and I mean, it was like 2 minutes late. It wasn't that late. I just like to tell someone if I'm running behind, even if it's just a second or so. I mean, we live in the world of texting. Why not? So I walked in, and one of them said to me, well, how are you feeling? And sad, but it's true. In this stage of my life, every time I see someone, that's well, how are you feeling? Well, you look like you're walking better today. Oh my goodness, it looks like you feel terrible. We get to that stage, and that's kind of the stage I'm at. And so she said, how are you feeling? And I said, physically I'm doing pretty good. I said, but it's the mental and emotional stuff that really rocks me. If I don't keep my mindset on good things and I don't keep my emotions in check, boy, I can get derailed in a second. And so I was telling her, mentally I just sometimes forget my name. And she looked at me and she said, I've got to tell you what I've done. And I said, well, what have you done? And she's just gotten married again, and she's older than I am, but she's recently remarried. I think she's been single for a lot of years, and her new husband has had some health trouble. So she leans over the table and she says, well, I had to mail some stuff the other day, so I got ready and I got to the post office and I went inside and I mailed it, and I realized I didn't have my pants on. I said, you've got to be kidding me. She said, no. I went right on in there. I mailed it with my t-shirt and underwear on. And I laughed and laughed and laughed. And of course, she can laugh about it now, but she was really just so exhausted. And I said, did people look at you? And she said, well, yes, they looked at me really odd. And I just went about my business. She said, can you believe I've done that? And I got tickled and decided maybe I wasn't that mentally exhausted. But oftentimes we find ourselves so exhausted we do stuff like that, where everybody's looking at us like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? But nobody would really stop and say, excuse me, you're not clothed all the way. In Jeremiah 31, it tells us that he gives us rest. He's the one who refreshes our souls. But if you're anything like me, maybe you just kind of get on Facebook and scroll through, or you turn on Netflix, or maybe you lay in bed and you play on your phone, but you fail to go to where the refreshing is. If he is the one who is the lover of our souls, and he is the one who gives us refreshing, why all too often do we not go to him? Because he says that he gives rest to the weary, says that his yoke is easy and his burden is light if we just yoke up with him. I'm going to challenge you to think about that this week. When you find yourself frazzled, out of control, or maybe at the post office without your pants, think about how weary you've become without calling to the one who can change that. He's for us. He's not against us. So think about that this week as you go about doing your things, if you're really tapping into the one who can refresh you. Hey, blessings. Peace.